What's up, people? How you doing today? I'm just gonna bring you another quick video because the last one I came to you with was about the immigrants, the illegal immigrants, and I used Brandon Johnson in Chicago. He's the mayor out there. I use him as an example. I'm just give you real quick some information about the events that's taking place out there in Chicago, and I think they should have been taking place, but only thing that bothers me is that we, as the Chicago residents who you saw at those um, town hall meetings that I showed you, should have been the leading people of this movement. But I'm glad that this guy is doing it. But they should have been the leading. You the one voted him in. You should have been the leading. And I'm gonna show you why. I'm gonna tell you why in a minute. But listen to this.
Developing story today, he has not been in office for an entire year yet, but there is an effort underway to recall Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson.
And the man heading the effort says he is among those not happy with the mayor's performance. Charlie Wojciechowski joins us now with his plan. Charlie?
Well, Michelle, Alex, in Illinois, you can hold a special election to recall the governor, but not the mayor of Chicago. And Dan Mullen says he wants to change that. He wants your help by way of a petition he is circulating to start the process of putting the idea on the ballot.
We should be able to, when we make a mistake, say, hey, we made a mistake, it might be time to recall it.
Dan Mullen says he thinks Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson has lost his way, and a mechanism needs to exist that allows voters to recall him.
I'm not trying to attack the mayor personally, it's just about having good governance.
That's why Mullen has launched an initiative called Recall This Fall, filing the necessary paperwork earlier this month to give Chicagoans the ability to recall their mayor. The first step will require 56,464 petition signatures to get on the fall ballot.
You have to make the mayor accountable. The mayor is accountable to all the voters of Chicago.
But at a news conference Wednesday,
You see who's in charge of leading this effort. I just think that it should have been the people who voted his ass in there. And let's be honest, without the black vote, he wouldn't be the mayor. So it should be black people leading this petition to get his ass out of there. Let's continue.
the sitting mayor lashed out at the idea of a recall.
What is disingenuous about this so-called development? It's some dude from the suburbs who's mad about the diversity.
You see what I'm saying? Now he claiming it's some dude from the suburb that's mad about diversity and this, that, and the third. That's mad about diversity. I showed you the town hall meeting and all the black people that was getting up there getting on his black ass. I showed it to you. And he's saying some people, the guy who he may be from the suburbs, is mad about diversity. That's the reason why I'm telling you. That's the reason why I was telling you that we should have been leading that petition. Because, see, you can put in, there's a mechanism to recall the governor of Illinois, but there's no mechanism to recall the mayor of Chicago. Why do you think that is? Chicago has always been like one of the most corrupt cities in this country. All of my Chicagoans, all my peoples in Chicago, I got love for you, but it's the truth. Y'all ain't got nothing to do with it, but the people who been in control in Chicago for God knows how long, it's always been one of the corrupt city, right up there with New York City. So, yeah, this guy right here, to even mention that, is just it's just smoke and screens, because I show you that if you go back and watch the last video, you saw the black lady. There's a black lady with a red hat, and she said, if your ass even make it that far, even make it to the end of his term, that she was talking about Brandon Johnson. He's gonna go. If they are successful with this petition and able to get this recall on a ballot, Mayor Johnson is not even going to make it to the end of his term. You remember the last video I told you, he hasn't even been there a year yet. Go ahead.
In the formation in which we have put forward.
First of all, accused me of being from the suburbs yesterday, which I took as a personal insult because I've lived here 33 years. The idea of allowing Chicago voters to recall their mayor is not a new one. State Representative LaShawn Ford, who supports the current mayor, first introduced it in 2016 in the wake of the Laquan McDonald murder.
Sometimes things could be so bad that the voters have lost the confidence and the trust in the elected official.
Bolin says he is not a politician.
Muting.
Want Johnson
Unmuted.
Council to take this.
Muting. Unmuted.
Right? We have members of the city council who are more concerned about ceasefires in Gaza than they are about ceasefires in Englewood.
Let me rewind that back a little bit.
There, right?
We
have members of the city council who are more concerned about ceasefires in Gaza than they are about ceasefires in Englewood.
Do you hear this? Do you hear this? Do you hear this guy? Your black politicians are more concerned. He's not even talking about just black politicians, but he's talking about Mayor Johnson. But I'm telling the black people who mostly vote these black people in, like Mayor Johnson in. It was the black community that voted his ass in there. And we already know that. He would not be in there if it wasn't a majority of black Chicagoans that went out there and voted for his ass. And he is coming out and say they're more worried about the ceasefire somewhere in another country somewhere with people who, if they were to come to this country, wouldn't give a damn about your black ass. The people who are in this, you know how I know that? Because those people who are from those areas who are in this country have already shown they don't give a damn about black people. That's how I know that. And your black politician is more worried about some ceasefire somewhere else, like the white guy just said. Unbelievable. The white guy has to say it. But let's continue.
Now, getting the signatures would put the measure on the ballot, but it wouldn't initiate any kind of recall. For that to happen, another set of petitions would have to be circulated, and a recall election would have to happen. It's a daunting process, but Bolin says he is ready for it.
Oh, wow. Well, definitely sounds like a long road ahead. But yes, as you mentioned, sounds like he's in it for the long haul for sure.
He's got a lot of work ahead of him.
All right. Thank you, Charlie.
Okay.
It's a process, but it's worth doing. And I think that the black Chicagoans should have been leading that process. And just like they said, you got to go through another ballot. Everybody in Chicago need to be getting behind this, because it's not even just about Brandon Johnson. It's about setting a precedent, setting a rule where even if the people who come after Brandon Johnson, we can recall your ass. So my folks in Chicago, y'all need to get behind it. Black, white, you need to get behind this period so you can recall anybody who's in power that's doing some old bullshit, giving all your resources to illegal immigrants while he look at you and give you the middle finger. You should be able to recall his ass. I'm going to leave it there.